Hey everybody, welcome to the Hybrid Radio podcast on Hybrid Radio. I am your host, Jarrell. Thank you everybody for coming out. I love your energy at the side. Love it. All right. We got a long show today. We got a lot to talk about, so everyone sit down. Thank you, band. That's right. I'm Jarrell. I'm here with the High Radio Podcast, and if you never heard the show before, what we do, we review albums, we talk about news topics that just came out, and I'm happy to introduce, welcoming back my hopefully new, cross my fingers, my new co-host. Let's give it up for the connoisseur of hardcore and also the metal savant. Everyone give it up for Drew.
This is news to me. Give it up anyway. I'm awesome.
They're fun. They love you, man. It's good to see you, man. How you been doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good.
I'm not going to be doing so great after I crack open this Bud Light Lime. I have a feeling. I'm going to do that in a little while, and then going to have to take a break to go vomit in the toilet, probably.
Yes, this show is sponsored, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, by Bud Light and Bud Light Lime.
I don't know if it's sponsored so much as making things more interesting.
Yeah, we're going to make
in
the best
a really
we can.
bad way.
If you want to chase that down with some rum I got up there, if it's all good. But
you're really trying to make me sick, aren't you?
That's my whole plan all along. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about some new album that came out. We're going to talk, I'm going to review the new Stone Sour album that came out a few months ago, or in June. And also, me and Drew are going to review a hardcore band that's been in our circle for many years, the band Integrity. They have a new album that just came out, their 10th record. We're going to talk about that together. Also, we got some news topics in the news. We're going to do some local news of certain venue that we have frequented has just closed its doors in New York City. We're going to talk about what that venue meant to us. Also, there's been some tomfoolery happening in the New Jersey movie scene.
Shenanigans, one might say.
Yes. Certain kids' movies, someone was caught, enjoying themselves way too much for it. We'll talk about that. And also, one of our favorite TV shows, one of the actors happened to be arrested. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what that show meant to us. Hopefully, Drew, you're a little bit younger than me, but you must have grown up on this particular show we're going to talk about from the 80s.
I can't wait to find out.
And keeping things going, we have a guest today. We're going to have Greg from the Backer Superheroes to come in and talk about, what the band's been doing this year and how 2017 has been going, and also he's going to give his insight on a particular concert me and him attended last month. And I guess that would cover everything. And so this part of the show I like to call "What's New with Drew." So since I haven't seen
Jesus, put me on the spot here.
Since I haven't seen you since mid-July, how's your life been going?
Life's going great.
Yes.
The new Integrity album came out, and I get to talk about it today.
Wow. So all these 2 weeks, that's the only thing that's happened to you.
That's the only thing.
I mean, you're getting closer and closer to the big day.
That's all I got left.
Okay. You're getting closer to the big day, though, Maybe next year, April, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's your fiancé. That fancy word, fiancé.
It's very, we're not engaged to be married. We are fiancés. I refuse to call it anything else.
Yeah, he's fancy, He calls his garage a car. He doesn't call it a car hold. He calls it a garage. That's fancy stuff.
Car hold.
But yeah, so I guess that's been going with you. But if that's it, I'll get into what I've been up to. So this past 2 weeks, I am actually on paternity leave because my wife had a new baby. So my job gave me 4 weeks off.
Let's give it up for new babies.
Yes. Cheers for you again. Thank you. All right, cool. You guys knew I already had a child. That's why we've been on a little hiatus. But so when I was leaving, everyone at work is all like, "Oh my God, you get to have another 2 weeks off. It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna have a little party." I'm like, "No, it's not gonna be awesome. I'm gonna have to watch the kids by myself." Do you have any idea how hard it is to watch a newborn and 2-year-old at the same time? And my suspicions were 100% correct. It is not fun.
I find the concept of paternity leave, or at least the way it's viewed, very interesting. Because I feel like everybody just has this idea that the father is just there, or the father doesn't do anything. So it's like, oh, he either doesn't need paternity leave, or he's going to go on paternity leave, and it's just going to be a kegger.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, there's children involved.
It's work, man. It's when you got one kid that, like I was telling Greg before we started recording, my son is 2 months old, so he's just now starting to hold his head up and be a little proud of me being his father. You know, before he was just like, you know, ashamed, held it down. But now he's like, you know what?
I don't know if he's proud so much as he's just trying to escape.
He's just like, where's the exit? Where's the exit? No, he's basically like saying, you know what? I've known this guy for all my life. He's a pretty cool dude. So got that going. And my 2-year-old is either like, you know, he either gets jealous of the attention and wants to sit on my lap as well. And so it's like difficult to nurse one and hold the other while he's watching continuous hours of Sesame Street.
When you say you've been nursing your children,
yes, with my own nipples. Yes.
Do you have you been producing like sympathy milk during this? This
Kahlua and breast milk is what I like to give the children. You know, just that
I don't
way,
think you should be drinking if you're nursing the kids. Honestly, I'm gonna have to call Dyfus.
I'm gonna be
stop the show.
I'll be dehydrated. Come on, man. I gotta drink a little bit, right? You know. But I'm just saying, I drink a lot. But anyway, I have the 2 kids.
But by the way, this is not actually a radio show. This is an intervention, Jarrell.
Not another intervention. That's why this whole audience is here. No, we're
worried about you.
Yeah, it's basically I have to do like, you know, both at the same time, and on the other hand, it's like when he doesn't want attention, he's like, I'm gonna just cause some destruction because I can't even put the kid down and stop him. So he knocks shit over and he looks at me.
One of the
like,
reasons I don't want a kid.
He's like, what do you want to do about it? What are you gonna do? I'm like, damn it, you win this round. Next time, Gadget.
What you gonna do about it, you punk bitch?
Yeah, exactly what he's thinking.
Who's the daddy now?
I don't know, man. It's exactly as difficult as I thought. And my boss at work's like, well, at least you won't be here. I'm like, you know what? I would take being at work. It's a lot less stressful than being at home with the kids. But I love them. I'm sorry, getting choked up. But on another note, the good thing about being on paternity leave is I get to catch up on Netflix and watch.
Ooh, what you watching?
So I wanted to ask you guys a question, Drew. I watched this movie, The Founder, which is, if you guys don't know, it's a movie starring Michael Keaton, and he's playing he's the guy. I guess his name is Ray Kroc. Who's the founder of McDonald's. I'm using the word founder in quotes because
I was gonna say,
you know, because actually
it's kind of a Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla type of situation, but with those guys.
Yeah. So he basically, the story is the brothers, the McDonald brothers, tell him like how he's got this. They got this place that serves food in 30 seconds instead of 30 minutes. That was the hell people had to face back in the 50s. They had to wait half an hour for their food. But now McDonald's...
Dark times.
Yeah. They order their food and it's ready right away. The secret is it's already pre-prepared. So I don't know why he was so goddamn surprised. But
people were dumber back in the 50s.
But anyway, he's like, this is great. Let me take your idea. But if you watch the movie, actually both parties, they both did some asshole-ish things to get them where they were. So it was a story about a guy who had no options and he had to really, really do what he could to survive.
I'm looking at the listing on IMDb. I didn't realize that Mr. McDonald's name was Dick McDonald.
Yeah, they did say Dick a lot in the movie. Yeah. He played by I think Nick Offerman played them, and he looks a lot different without his mustache and shit.
More sympathetic.
Yeah, I'm more sympathetic. Yeah, he is too. But I thought what's interesting. I'm comparing the 2 McDonald's documentary or movies I've seen.
Are you talking about Food Inc.?
No.
Oh,
I forgot about that one. So the 2 movies I've seen is Super Size Me and this movie. And what's funny about Super Size Me, when I saw it, it's like, obviously it's a movie about, you know, a guy that said, I'm going to eat McDonald's like every day, 3 meals a day. If they ask me to supersize it, I will say yes every time, which they used to have supersized, and they got rid of it coincidentally after the movie came out. But I was thinking, like, you see that movie, you think to yourself, I don't want McDonald's anymore. But for me, after the movie was done, I'm like, I fucking want
amazing,
McDonald's. Yeah, I can't wait to eat McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
And the movie I just saw, Founder, had the opposite effect. So you want to watch the movie and be like, wow, I'm inspired. Like, you know, that's so awesome. But I'm like, no, fuck that guy.
Well,
fuck McDonald's. I'm not eating there ever again.
I mean, this is a problem in your thinking that you thought you would be inspired by McDonald's.
Are you one of those guys that always hated McDonald's?
No, I enjoyed McDonald's until I tasted other fast food.
Okay.
But I was a Burger King guy for a while.
Yeah.
And then I realized Burger King was garbage when I got into Wendy's, and then I realized Wendy's is garbage.
When I got into Five Guys.
Exactly.
And I go, Five Guys is garbage.
And I've just been doing Five Guys ever since.
Oh, you haven't done 30 burgers yet. You got to try that, man.
Ooh, what's that?
Oh, man, that's like this new chain that's around here. I hope it doesn't get big and get bought out, because like this movie I saw, but they have 30 different kinds of burgers, different like Philly cheesesteak burgers.
Is it all different animals, or like you can get like some kangaroos, some tortoise?
You can get stork. You can get steak burgers. You can get like.
Oh, I was gonna say a stork burger. I'm vegetarian.
With the baby in the pouch too on the side.
Oh, I love fried baby. I was gonna say I'm a vegetarian, but I think I would break it to eat some stork.
Okay.
Like a stork steak would be. I don't know
Delicious.
if it would be good, but it would be interesting.
It would be. It would cut down the whole birthing thing happening if we ate more storks. But
if you've ever been curious about infanticide, but didn't want to go through the whole murder thing, you just eat a stork instead. That's how that works.
yeah.
For the listener at home.
Yeah. So it's weird that one movie I'm supposed to not like McDonald's, the other one I'm supposed to like think they're cool, and I had the opposite effect. But I would say you guys should check out the movie Founder. It's a pretty interesting story. And another topic I've learned from that movie, I want to tell you this. The lady that plays the wife, they end up getting a divorce halfway through because he's so focused on getting this McDonald's thing going. And I have a little PSA for women out there. You guys women do not marry men with aspirations and goals.
And men don't have aspirations and goals.
Yes. You need a man that basically once you put that ring on him, he has no, he's given up on life completely. So one thing I learned from movies like The Founder and Wolf of Wall Street and Donald Trump, I guess, is that you just...
Which wife are we talking about?
Which wife?
Which wife?
From The Founder? I mean...
No, from Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. The latest one, or all of them, actually.
Oh.
All of them, basically. Every time...
Every single one.
Yeah, every single one. You need to find a man that has given up on life completely, and that's why he's with you. Or maybe better yet, a man that already has his career going, and he's just going to settle with that. So my little advice to you as well, Drew, give up right now.
I'm way ahead of you.
Yes, this is your life.
I've already given up. I'm going to hang myself when I get home.
All right. Well, make sure actually, when you do that, I bet we'll get more listeners. So you should,
yeah,
that's the way people appreciate art more once you're gone.
Yeah, if Chester Bennington has taught us anything. That's a throwback to last episode.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, so before we get to our guests,
that's the kind of professionalism that you can expect.
To professionalism.
Burping into the mic. By the way, can I say that this beer is an abomination to everything?
So give us a little. What does it taste like? Do you taste the lime?
You know what? It's weird. You taste the lime, but it doesn't taste like lime. It tastes like chemicals. That is a reasonable facsimile of lime. And you don't always taste it. You'll take a sip and it just tastes like, Bud Light, which is basically just water.
Yeah.
And then you take another sip and it's just a mouthful of chemicals, and I'm waiting for my tongue to start blistering and burning. I don't know who came up with this. But I wish them only the worst things that this life has to offer. All
right. Well, I'm sorry if you guys want to sponsor our show in real life and pay us money, but I do not. The thoughts and opinions of Drew does not respect the person here that's talking right now that wants to make an easy buck anytime.
That isn't an opinion. That is just objective fact.
Okay. I want to get paid, so if you want to send more Bud Light limes to us, I will happily sell out for it. Now, it is time for some concert reviews. Drew, are you aware
reviews?
Are you aware of the band, the Mighty Mighty Bosstones?
Yeah, you could say that.
All right. So I actually got a chance to see them live at the Sterling Ballroom a couple weeks ago, and they were playing their 20th anniversary of the hit record "Let's Face It."
Which, let me tell you, nothing.
Remember that album?
Yeah, it was crushing when I found out that it has been 20 years.
Yes. You realize how old you are. So when I found out they were playing that whole album from front to back, ran to get tickets right away because I'm like, this show's going to definitely sell out instantly. I forgot it's not 1998 anymore. So, show still had tickets all the way to the day of the
Ska
show.
Revival is not as big as it was in 1997.
I completely forgot about that. So, unfortunately, I got tickets way too early, but it's okay. So, I actually rode with my friend Greg from the Backer Superheroes who opened the show. And we got there early just in time to hear their sound check outside, which was pretty awesome. I was living the highlight. I was rolling with the big ballers, hearing the bands doing their sound checks outside. It was amazing. So like I said, opening band was not only Backer Superheroes from their local scene, but we also had the Scotanic group Mephistopheles. So Drew, if you love Satan and you love
I do love Satan.
you do love ska music, this is the band.
Not as much with ska music.
Okay.
Like you said, it's not 1997.
Okay, but they're good. If you like one, you can like get over the other and put up with it.
Yeah,
possibly.
As long as it's truly evil. I would like to see some animal sacrifices during my ska shows.
Yeah. They don't actually do it, but they do talk about a lot of devil shit on that.
So you feel like they're doing it behind closed doors, definitely. Okay. All right.
So check out Memphis Fleas when you have a chance. So actually get to the show. People pile in, and the first band that played back our superheroes, despite having the singer guitarist Tam from the New Jersey band Garden State Line filling in for their absent singer guitarist. I have to honestly say they were amazing live, and they had a lot of energy, especially the saxophone player Gary going all over the place. They were killing it. Band was loving it as well, and also best of all, being that I'm good friends with them, I got myself a backstage pass. So I was hobnobbing with them in the back in the green rooms.
With somebody special.
I am hanging out with Memphis Fleas and Backer Superheroes, watching. I guess we're watching news on the TV as they ate pizza in front of us. So it was. I was really living the high life. It was really great.
Watching news and eating pizza with a ska band.
Well, I wasn't eating pizza. They weren't sharing with us.
Oh, all right.
But I got to watch the band eat pizza and watch TV in the back. So it was pretty awesome.
And they were eating the pizza off like a stripper's ass, and like it was very.
No, they just kept saying Satan, and they take a bite. And they say, like,
that's what Satanists do. Actually, you need to yell Satan before you take a bite.
That's how they pray. Actually, they prayed "Hail Satan," and then they ate. So after that. Backer Superheroes got stage. Memphis Fleas comes on, kept the energy going with their like sinister, like traditional ska music / punk rock in their set list. So if you guys haven't heard them before, check them out. And also, I did an interview with the band last year, so check back on the archives on YouTube, and you'll check out my interview with Memphis Fleas. They're a great band to see, and really funny guys. So check out that band live. So then after that, that's when the venue was at its peak capacity. Don't think it sold out, but it was still like, a lot of people there. Bosstones hit the stage. They just tear through, let's face it, from the front to back. And I'm a big fan of like, these. How do you feel about these like, album tour show concerts?
Depends on if I give a shit about the album. Really.
Like the thing I like about it is I know what they're gonna play, so I don't have to like sit through some filler shit. And best of all, they might play some songs I never heard them play before. So it's like I'm all about those shows. I've been going to nonstop like album tour shows like for the past 2 years now, and I know it's getting to be like kind of too much of a trend, but I'm down with it.
I actually did something similar recently. I went to This Is Hardcore, the festival in Philly, and Bloodlet, the band Bloodlet, got back together for This Is Hardcore, and they decided to play their best known album, basically front to back. I think they might have omitted a song or two. And I gotta admit, it was kind of boring because I like listening to that album, but I kind of want the hits too. They have other songs that I wanted to hear.
Well, this is what's great about the Bosstones. So what they did that whole album first, then they started doing like hits and like new stuff. So they had a good like blend of like new song, old song, new song, old song, back and forth. So it's like one song they're playing, I'm like, I don't really know this song. Then the next song, I do know this song. Then and it went back and forth. They had a lot of like little kids, like 10-year-olds old, crowd surfing like constantly. So a lot of parents brought their children to the show. So to the point where like Dickie Barrett, the lead singer, was like, let's bring up all the kids on stage, take a big picture. So it's a big picture of all the kids together, and then they had them skanking and stuff on the kids. Not on the kids.
On the kids. Yeah, they were like, now lay down, kids.
And let's skank on top of you. So excellent thing, and that fucking encore was like superb. They left and came back, old school, the bright. Dr. D they played, and of course the fan favorite Devil's Night Out shit went off, and I was like, that's the encore you want, when
I feel like that's how you got to do it with these album shows.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm a fan of the album, I want to hear other stuff. I can't think of very many albums where every single song is an absolute winner. Like I need to hear it live.
Yeah.
I remember that band Coheed and Cambria I saw a number of years ago. They did they played their first record front to back, but they did 3 sets. So they did an acoustic set, and then they did the record front to back, and then they did another set of the hits.
Yeah.
And I feel like the same thing with the Bosstones. Like, at least come out for an encore and do a few songs.
Yeah, that's what
necessary.
they definitely did. It was awesome. And what I loved about them is after the show was over, Dickie's out signing autographs and for all the people there, like on stage. So he didn't like walk off and like, I don't want to talk to you guys. I'm too Hollywood. So they killed it. I think, honestly, for all the concerts I've been to this year, I've been to doing concerts once a month. I did, like, actually 3 concerts in July, I think. And that was easily the best concert I've been to this year so far. So definitely check out the Bosstones live if you haven't already. Great band. You'll love it. Oh, and by the way, I did see Rancid with the Dropkick Murphys at Stone Pony last week.
What year is this?
Bouncing Souls were there, too.
Again, what year is this?
And stiff little fingers.
Why are we talking about this?
Well,
all right, now I definitely know what year this is.
Yeah, this is
like 92,
yeah.
98, 83.
I would honestly, like, being that I'm a huge Rancid fan, I've seen him like live like about 8 times. I would debate Drew's sarcasm on this, but
I feel like I can't think of a band that I've seen more than like 4 or 5 times.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Drew. You're absolutely right for your non-enthusiasm because that was my least favorite Rancid show out of all of them.
Tim Armstrong, I saw pictures. He kind of looks homeless.
Yeah.
Like not in a cool Rancid way. Like
Yeah.
he just straight up. I'm concerned about him.
I'm like, cut your fucking beard. It drives me crazy, but I don't know. The thing I didn't like about it is I judged their shows based on like set lists and crowd participation together. Like I know I'm gonna have to hear "Out Come the Wolves" like that album a lot, and it's not my favorite album. And I know that's what they have to play.
That's actually the only album I know.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, I got to deal with it. But I don't know. It's like my problem with the Stone Pony is like they did the same like time thing as like if you went to PNC Bank where it's like the second the doors open, the shit starts. And I hate that. It's like I need some time to get there. So I get there at like the doors open at 4:30. I get there at 6. I've already missed Stiff Little Fingers and Bouncing Souls are playing at that time. So I'm like, I'm a little upset about that. And then when the show's completely over, I check my watch. It's still 9:30. It's 9:30. Only 9:30. It's just over already.
I gotta disagree with you. I wish every show was over at 9:30. I'm a working man. I got places to be. I gotta wake up for work the next day. I gotta get up at 5 in the morning every day for work.
Oh, so you one of those guys that just ran out.
9:30 is perfect. Let me out at 9:30. I can get home in time. To
watch Tonight Show. Yeah.
Yeah, if I want to. I like having that option. I'll tell you, more recently, I've had to take, the next day off, and then that makes me feel old. Yeah, like just accept that, like we're old now. You don't have to, fling it in our faces. Like, oh, it's 11:30, bro. Can't hang. Like, no, I can hang, and I'd appreciate it if you didn't bring it up. And this shit at 9:30.
I don't know, man. It's just. I was the one guy when we were driving back from the show. I'm like, dude, let's hang out. I'm calling everybody. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, it's like, we're going to bed. I'm like, it's only like 10:30.
Thank God you didn't call me. I would have been in bed.
So I ended up going to like down the street to like the bar that was having like a punk show till like 1 in the morning. And I just showed up there in my Bosstones shirt that I got from the show before. And I was like, yeah, let's keep raging, man. But I see what you're saying. I really need to grow up.
Don't get me wrong. If it's a Saturday night, I will be out.
But it was a Friday night though. That Rancid show. That's still not good.
No, because I work Fridays.
You don't work Saturdays though, do you? No,
I don't work Saturdays.
Yeah, you could have went to that, and you would have been just as pissed as I was. 9:30, and this shit's over. I'm like, this is ridiculous, man. But good crowd, but it's just that set list wasn't up to par for me.
I'll tell you something. The best show I've been to recently. It was in Brooklyn at St. Vitus. It was a matinee show.
Was it?
Things started at 2:00.
Yeah.
I think it was over by 4:30. I got out. I was drunk as shit. I went and I was able to go get a burger. I was able to get home. I was at home by 7:30. And I was already sobering up just in time to not get hungover for the next day.
I'm so scared.
It was beautiful.
That I'm doing something wrong because I should be the one that's like, being...
No, you're doing everything right. I'm jealous that you don't give a shit. Like, I want that. I want to not give a shit.
I should give a shit because I have children. You should not give a shit because you don't. I don't get it. But actually, this is a good time.
That's why I would not be a good dad.
I want to bring on our guest now because a surprise, you guys. Let's bring back. He's been on the show before. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Greg from the Backer Superheroes. Come in.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
He was just sitting in the hallway.
Yeah, he was in the green room, if you will. Now that crowd loves you. You've been in a long time since they've seen you heard you on a podcast. It's been like, what, over a year?
Yeah, but my big thing is this. I live down the street from you. Why did you not invite me to be your co-host?
Because you didn't listen to the albums, man.
I would if you gave me the opportunity.
All right, I thought you would
Listening to albums is overrated.
Yeah, I thought you'd be too busy with like your band and stuff. You were actually at the show I was just talking about, obviously, because you were on stage.
I was.
Give us your perspective of how it was opening for one of your favorite ska bands ever.
Oh, it was amazing.
And Dickie had your T-shirt on during the encore. That was sick, man.
Oh,
not his actual shirt, but the band shirt.
No,
You don't
that's
know
less
that.
impressive.
Yeah.
that could have been the shirt I was wearing.
Okay.
I went to the back.
I always wear my band shirt at shows.
No, never. But it was awesome. It was amazing. And then when he came out for the encore and was wearing our shirt, I was like, that's all. That's fucking crazy.
You just heard like 7 ska people jizz their pants at the same time.
Yeah. No, I jizzed myself afterward. I waited till everyone cleared out first. I didn't want to make
that's
a
the
mess
best. That's the best orgasm when no one's around.
Yeah.
I think
it was awesome. It was a great show. But my amp, somehow my amp got messed up when I was playing. So everyone saw me on stage. I was like crouched down in front of my amp trying to figure out if I could hear it or not. And I couldn't hear it, and no one could hear it.
The ironic thing is, you know what's ironic, and I'll ask you, Drew, because Drew's actually a bass player as well. He's been in the band, so he probably knows your pain. But if you didn't do anything and just sat there and mimicked it, we wouldn't have noticed. But we noticed more that the girl saxophone player, her mic was too low, than your bass player not on at all. But I couldn't say anything because you couldn't hear me. So
I was gonna say that I think that's something that comes with age, where you're like, is this amp on? Is it not on?
Yeah.
I can't even tell at this point because my ears are fucked.
Yeah. It wasn't on, so I'm just being honest with you. But
it really was.
I didn't notice.
Well, I mean, okay, so I know that was a joke. It wasn't a good one, but
the
it was a joke.
Laugh to that, but
I think with ska music, you would definitely notice that the bass wasn't there.
Yeah,
but every once in a while it would start playing. Like I could hear it.
Yeah,
and then it would turn off. So I'd run across.
It was like a fucked up input or something.
So I would run across to the other side of the stage. I'd play it. Wouldn't hear it. I'd run back. I'd hear it. I'd run to the other side. Then I could hear it. I couldn't figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
I looked at the sound guy. He just looked at me like I'm an idiot. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he actually came out on the stage during it and looked at it too. Like I don't know.
That's because I pointed at him like.
Yeah.
Amp over here. I'm pointing right now, so everyone listening to us on the radio knows that I'm pointing.
Yeah.
Just I'm pretending to point at the amp behind me right now.
Yeah.
So
imagine the man pointing at an amp right now.
This is one of the most fantastic things I've ever seen. I believe there's an amp in this room.
Yeah. You're missing it out, you guys. This is incredible.
So I pointed. He came over, and nothing happened. He looked at it, pressed some weird buttons, touched some wires and shit. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. But then I talked to everyone after we got off stage. Like, were you able to hear me? Everyone said they could hear me. I'm like, oh, okay. So anyone that's not really musically inclined could hear me.
We just heard you every so often. I'm just saying from my perspective, like what Drew's saying, you need bass, but you have so many instruments in your set, in your band. You got like 3 horn sections, you got like guitars, you got singing and all that. So like sometimes the bass could get muffled out. Like if you were like Sublime, you need to hear the bass.
Yeah.
Or sorry, if you were Sublime with Rome, I forgot. I gotta say it like that. You need the bass. But if you're fucking like 10,000 Maniacs, which I'm assuming is 10,000 people on stage.
Yeah, I saw it. They couldn't even fit in the building. They played to one person.
I wouldn't notice if one flute player you couldn't hear their flute.
So I brought it back to where I bought it because I had insurance. So
yeah. They
looked at it like, we'll ship it for you for free and we'll repair it. I went home like 2 days ago. It was on my front porch, and I looked at it. I was like, oh, it must be fixed. It feels lighter. I think they broke it again. So I read the sheet that was in the box. It said they had to solder it.
Uh-huh.
Turns out solder is how they spell solder.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea that's how you spell solder.
It's like way too many letters for a word. It's like subtle.
Yeah, SOLDER is how you spell solder. And I'm really like, they soldered it and then resoldered it. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? So I still had no idea. So I asked Google, and Google told me it was solder. So I figured out they had to solder something inside the amp. supposedly they fixed it. I didn't try it yet because I just
Wow.
feel like
The story just like petered out at the end, but that was really cool, man. So now your amp is fixed. Tell us what's new with the band now. It's coming up, you know.
We have a show coming up on September 2nd in Garwood at the Crossroads. It's a complete all ska festival. Little ska fest.
Drew, your favorite. Drew's gonna buy tickets right now.
Love ska festivals.
I love hardcore music and ska music.
The only problem with that, it's not going to be as good because I won't be there.
Okay.
Never mind. I won't like it because I won't be there, and no one's going to.
At least the bass will be working this time.
Yeah, no one's going to care if I'm there or not. But we have Dave from P-Funk North filling in for me, and they're going to do even better because Dave's really good at bass.
And you have a new album coming out this year, right?
Hopefully.
Okay.
It'll be out.
Put him on the spot like that.
He can't really talk about it right now.
Yeah, the feds are
label
listening.
interference.
Yeah.
It'll be out at some point.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to you guys opening with a different song, but at the same time, that song you open with, beautiful opener. You can't go wrong with that. I don't know how many. Yeah, I don't know how many years you're gonna go with doing that, but that's definitely.
Personally, I think we're always going to be starting with the same song, ending with the same song, and we'll put another one in between.
Yeah. Your covers are great too. It's just great band. You guys should check out Backer Superheroes. Like they're gonna show Drew that ska music is coming back, and eventually you have to buy tickets immediately when Less Than Jake comes to town.
I can't wait for the Skapocalypse.
Yeah, Skanarchy all over the place.
Well, it's going to be amazing when I become the co-host here with Jarrell.
With the ska, the scar key?
All ska all the time.
Yeah.
I might not be the co-host, but I'm probably going to just walk in his front door every time they're doing something and pretend that I'm doing something.
That's awesome.
And then you're gonna
I don't mind.
And then you're gonna take the mic and pick it up.
Well, love those puns.
I play bass, so I'm not really that important in music. I'm not going to be important with radio either, so it's cool.
You know what? The thing with the bassist is that you're not important until you're gone, and then people don't realize that how much they need you until you leave.
Well, that's like bassists and drummers. They're the heartbreak of the band because they get all the chicks.
Your drummer does get a lot of chicks, so I'll give her that.
The drummer, me, we're the only ones that get women.
I can't count the number of girls that have told me that their lifelong dream is to fuck a bassist.
Oh, yeah.
We're just swimming in it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got all the rhythm, That's what it is.
No one wants to hook up with the lead singer, the lead guitarist, the saxophone player.
They're all about the bass player, and maybe under the bass player would be like the roadie. But you're getting close to roadie status, though.
Roadies are last year.
I'm on my way to the top.
The guitar techs are still getting more pussy than you. But it's okay, though. I mean, that's what the married life is like. I don't get laid that often either. I'm married. I probably get laid rarely because I got kids and they're cock-blocking assholes. But I love them.
Wow. I don't have kids yet, and I still don't get laid. It's okay.
I don't know what to tell you then. I wish I could. It's gonna get worse once you start breeding. So
will you sleep with me?
Have I already?
Okay,
let's move on, everybody. Let's move on to the news. Do you mind staying for the news, Greg? You want to hang out and have some news topics we'll talk about?
Is it about sleeping with me?
Oh my God. Okay, sure.
Okay.
I'll
stay.
News.
See, news or news?
News. All right.
A little of both. I can see his papers. I think there may be a old Playboy pictorial in there.
No.
It's a little bit weird. I don't know how those are notes.
Breaking news. So first of all, me and Greg are going to be upset about this. One of our venue we went to together, we did not have sex there, but we definitely went to a show.
Well, there was that one time.
Yeah, in band camp.
You knew?
He was there reporting it.
You told him?
Old news.
Webster Hall, as we know it, announced its closing date is going to be, or actually passed. It was August 9th, so I hope you guys got to go there this weekend and check out.
I've actually never been to Webster Hall.
Oh, man.
God.
It's such an epic place to see bands play. You got the balcony area, you got the stage, you got the whole upstairs thing going on. You get clubs, things going on, different levels. They have clubs and parties and stuff, but it's gone. So last night, the party at East Village, they had a little going away thing, and they closed on the 9th. Not last night, sorry.
So, I got a question.
Well, let me tell you guys this before you have your question. So after the venue closes, they're going to undergo some extensive renovation as part of its sale to AEG, the Brooklyn Sports Entertainment, which is owned by Barclays Center. And when it reopens, its booking will be handled by Bowery Presents, which is also part of the AGE. So maybe it might still have shows in the future. So maybe we shouldn't worry about it so much. It's not like the CBGB's aspect of it. Or I'm sorry, we're from New Jersey. I gotta reference that fucking venue every time. It's not like Birch Hill. It might be back, you know.
Rest in peace.
Yes. So Webster Hall has had many different forms since its first theater was built back in like 1886. And in 1980, it operated as a story club called the Ritz. And since the 90s, it's been run by the Bollinger family. And as one of the biggest independent venues in the city, Webster Hall has always been kind of had a grimy charm to it. And it's unclear how much of that will be changed when it's new renovation. So they had a little party like the Gotham nightclub kind of thing happen, and then they said their goodbyes. And Drew, you're saying you've never been there before, but what was your question you were going to ask? I'm sorry.
What is the point of moving to New York? I feel like there isn't a whole lot going on there. I mean, we have I feel like we have clubs in New York that are constantly closing down.
Yeah, I know, right?
And it's not just clubs. It's just you walk through New York, it's just completely different. There's nothing to do there. So why are people still moving there? I don't understand it.
Well, these clubs are older ones. You think, like, have there been any new clubs opening in New York that you think are stupid?
All the new clubs
I don't think
stupid.
anything's opening. I mean, what was CBGB's replaced with? It was like a clothing store or something.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah. So
why aren't they opening strip clubs in place of or anything?
I know, right? Why are they not in New York City of all?
Yeah,
because they would open it and you wouldn't go there because it'd be too expensive.
Exactly, because Chrome was in. It's not Chrome. Chrome was next to that place in New York that Howard Stern used to go to all the time. Was the Scores? That's it. Scores.
Yeah.
Fucking. I don't know if it's the same price now, but when I went there and went by there, honey.
Didn't go in.
2005.
Made the sign of the crucifix across his chest and then walked quickly away from there.
$30 cover to get in.
God damn.
$10. Wait. It was $10 shots and $20. Wait. Sorry. It's $20 beers and $10 shots, something like that, or the other way around. I can't remember.
Either way, it sucks. Either way,
it kills you in
doesn't
there.
matter.
Yeah. It's like you be in there and out there in 5 minutes. You know.
I don't even think I'd make it up the staircase.
Yeah, you're so horny. Oh God. Okay, gotta leave. I don't know. It's just like I don't know if strip clubs should be there, but like the whole like concert venue or club venue of New York City, I think it's dying slowly and surely, and it really upsets me a bit because I've been to a lot of good venues out there, like back in the day, like the Tramps, and they talk about
Is that a strip club?
It was a place I saw. Fishbone. It was my favorite Fishbone show, and it was like a small venue, and then they closed that shit down. Have you been, Drew? You been to other place besides Brooklyn?
No, I mean I feel like anything I'm interested in right now is in Brooklyn. You got St. Vitus. I just found out recently that the Knitting Factory reopened there.
Yeah.
I feel like that was when I stopped going to shows in New York. Was when the old Knitting Factory closed down because it was like you were saying about Webster Hall. It was 3 levels and there was always something going on over there. Back in when I was more regular. Going to the knitting factory when I was both seeing shows and playing shows there. We also had a lot more going on in New Jersey too. So
yeah, very true.
There was more venues, and not only that. This was like 2004, 2005, 2006. There's also a lot more like basement shows and stuff, and I feel like that's all getting cracked down on.
Well, we have in New Jersey. We have the in New Brunswick area. That closed and opened up again and closed and opened up again. Yeah. So it's kind of like some places are going to stay around, some places aren't. And I'm hoping like Starland never closes, for example. Yeah. And for New York City, we still got the Terminal 5, at least. I'm not crazy about that venue. But Webster Hall, me and Greg actually went to see Me First and Gimme Gimmes in April. So that was my last time there. Was that yours?
My too.
So
I've really been thinking about the idea of opening venues. If it was people were gonna do it, people that have money, unlike me, they would do it in places like Hoboken.
Yeah, they have venues here already though. They have Maxwell. Yeah.
And Maxwell's is a very questionable venue. I was there recently.
One place, but if you open up more in Hoboken, it would take place of everything that left New York is there, and I think it would be great for the city itself.
Maybe.
Personally, I hate Hoboken, so
Really? Oh,
I hope it burns to the ground, the whole place.
And
then they open the venues on top of
As a
the
person
ashes.
Okay.
Can I just guess why? Because you were talking earlier on the podcast that you're older now. Is it why you don't like? Because the clientele is kind of almost on the par with the clientele in New Brunswick now. Is it that why you don't like it? I wouldn't.
Yeah,
say
it's just
that
like
bad.
a lot of yuppies and it's really crowded.
Okay.
A lot of hipsters.
The hipsters, yeah, the hipsters are kind of moving in, and it's like almost like a turf war between the hipsters and the yuppies at this point.
Okay, well then I guess it's not as bad as being in New Brunswick. New Brunswick I hate because of the college kids and I.
That's the thing. You got the hipsters and the college kids.
Yeah. Whereas Hoboken,
Both equally annoying.
Yeah. I see. So you just like you say you want to drink with plenty of elbow room and to be home by 9:30.
Exactly.
All right. So let's moving on. So hopefully, if you guys have any comments on these topics, let us know in the comment section. Next story, which is also a local story. I got this one from Weird News, and it says Mans was caught watching the Emoji movie with hands down his pants. And he said there is a time and place for guys to touch.
Hang on a second. You got to clarify that title. Was it like hands down the pants and he was doing stuff, or was it like hand down the pants like, listen, man, I just worked all day. I need to put my hand in
Doing
my
his
pants
Al
because
Bundy?
it's really comfortable. Exactly.
No, it was
Because I mean, if that's a crime, I am guilty of that every single
now.
goddamn day.
Right now, actually. No, he was guilty of the former. It says there is a time and place for guys to touch their eggplant, but it's not in a theater watching the Emoji movie. So police in Howell, New Jersey are trying to get their hands on a
Touch
man.
your eggplant. Where'd you get this story from?
I know, right? They love their puns, dude. They said they're trying to get their hands on a man who they say was fondling himself during a showing of the children's film. So a woman watching the movie with her kids on that Friday noticed a heavy-set man in his 20s or 30s sitting alone in the back row of the theater with his hands down his pants. And the woman reported the touchy situation to theater employees who escorted him out the theater. She later called the police.
I love all these puns.
Yeah. She later called the police, according to the Jersey Shore Online. I don't know why she waited till after it's all over to call police. Fucking snitch. But
Wait. I just got the pun. The escort walking the guy to oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's funny.
the suspect had facial hair, wore a white dress, black pants, and a yarmulke. The police released a photo of the man taken of the video surveillance camera, and he does this picture you guys can't see right now, but it's very blurry.
Oh, let me see this.
It's very blurry, and he just looks like a guilty person. But yeah, Drew's laughing at his heavy.
No, I'm laughing at he looks like a guilty person because that statement was kind of funny. But then I looked at it and I was like, yeah, he does kind of look guilty. He does look like an extra on SVU.
What's weird about this article is says anyone with information is asked to contact the detective, and I'm like, it's already done. Like, why do you care? And then T.J. Miller, who actually is the star of the Emoji movie, reacted to the news story with a pretty hilarious tweet, and he says, "It's that good. It is." And I want to ask you guys, have you guys ever done the Pee Wee Herman in the theater before? Or had the thought of doing it?
I'm a little bit younger than you guys, I think. I know I'm younger than you. I didn't have the internet when I was a kid, but I did have it when I was a teenager. So I got it right in prime movie theater masturbation territory. So no, I've never had a reason to go all Taxi Driver in a movie theater.
I've never had the want or need to do that.
So
in a movie theater.
I went to see this really boring movie, Signs.
And you masturbated to Signs to make it more interesting.
Yeah, there's a twist there. I'll tell you that.
Wait, can I see the picture of the guy again?
Okay. No problem. You can look at
real
the
quick.
and keep your hands where I can see him too.
Wait, hold on. Drew, that kind of looks like you.
Was that you?
No, it doesn't. Listen, I gotta go. See you guys later.
Well, I'm saying, dude, it's just like this movie was so fucking boring. So I was like, do you ever just because you're bored, and then I never done it where it's a crowded audience, but it's just I'm being too honest right now, but I'm just being honestly saying I've touched myself to a theater film before, and I'm not ashamed of it. It was a bad movie. So what?
Well, I mean, if it's a Signs, you were watching a movie with a rabid anti-Semite, so I mean, if anything, you were classing the joint up.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you guys think of this whole story? Do you think Emoji movie? I heard it's a really bad film, but obviously the movie was that bad he had to jerk off to it. But it's just like I don't know.
Well, was he masturbating to the movie or masturbating to the kids? I feel like if he's masturbating to the movie, not guilty.
Yeah,
right.
I have emojis all on my fingernails right now. If you want to see.
Yeah, I mean
that doesn't do anything for me actually.
But I'll give you the middle finger. It's a smiley face.
Yeah, it's very true.
But if you are an emoji philiac, like so many of us are, then I can imagine it being you have certain urges, you have certain feelings, you just can't control yourself.
Yeah, obviously the reason he was masturbating was because he wanted to make the movie more interesting, I guess.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Well, I would masturbate to the emoji movie.
Like, what's it about other than emojis and touching yourself?
That's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's about sexy emojis just wearing no clothes and just acting a fool. So they were asking for it. That's their fault.
Yeah.
Why are we still here? We should go see this right now. This sounds awesome.
Have you seen, it's kind of like the green M&M in those M&M commercials.
Yeah.
Who among us has not masturbated to an M&M commercial before?
Exactly. Or
I'm more of a Skittle person myself.
I'm more of
kinky.
I'm more of a California raisin kind of guy, So, but okay,
stop talking dirty.
Final news topic of the show. I'm sure us 80s babies or 90s babies will know this.
I'm an 80s baby.
Who's a 90s baby?
Any baby that was around in the 90s, I guess.
Wait, no. I actually, that's something we could talk about real quick.
Go ahead.
The idea feels like I would define myself as a 90s kid, but I'm an 80s baby.
Yeah.
Some people say I'm a 90s kid. Like, you were born in the 80s. Yes, that would make me a 90s kid. A lot of people don't understand that, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I'm in a weird situation where I was born in the mid '80s, so I kind of remember the '80s, but I'm more in the '90s.
Yeah.
So
you remember? Yeah. Exactly. But you like the movies from the '80s more.
Well, yeah, because that was what was on like TBS and Saturday.
But you guys don't remember the Pac-Man cartoon show, so that makes me feel old.
There was a Pac-Man cartoon?
Yeah, that makes me feel like a dinosaur, dude.
Did you touch yourself with that too?
He was naked too. Hell yeah. So what can I do?
Those sexy Pac-Man legs.
And he had a wife too, and a baby, and and the ghosts would take their clothes off when they got eaten.
Pac people are fucking definitely.
Yeah.
That's good
Final
stuff.
story of the night, guys. This podcast has been fucking off the rails.
It's getting in a weird area.
Yeah. Dukes of Hazzard star Tom Wopat was arrested. And I got the story from
for
CNN.
masturbating to the Emoji movie.
Yeah. So the actor was arrested Wednesday in Massachusetts, according to police. So Wopat, who starred as Luke Duke in the hit 80s series The Dukes of Hazzard, was taken into custody Wednesday night by the police and charged of allegedly indecent assault, battery, and possible drug possession.
He assaulted a battery?
Yeah. Double A, I think.
Oh, okay.
He poured salt on a battery is actually a misunderstanding.
According to the press statement from the police, 2 bags of white powder believed to be cocaine were discovered during the search of his vehicle. So Wombat then led police on a high-speed chase involving driving in circles on a dirt road and jumping his vehicle over a cop car while screaming, "Yeah!" That didn't really happen. Greg was all, really? Holy shit.
I was just thinking, this is the greatest freaking story ever.
No, he actually they put him in handcuffs and he ugly cried for a little bit in the back of a cop car.
Was he driving the General Lee, though? Because that would make it so much
Dip Dukes. This guy is 65 years old and was scheduled to be arraigned on the charges that Thursday, just hours before he was set to appear in a Boston performance of the musical 42nd Street. And Wompat was Wompat has worked steadily on stage and screen since the Dukes of Hazzard, including a role on A&E drama Longmire.
I wish you were going to say a role in the Emoji movie. Just call back to that.
Yeah, all my stories are linked together. So, are you guys upset being Dukes of Hazzard fans? I'm sure you watched it on CNT every Wednesday night.
I've actually never seen Dukes of Hazzard.
What are you killing? You're killing me, dude. Really?
No, I've seen Quantum Leap though.
Okay. Have you seen the movie?
There was a movie?
Dukes of Hazzard. There's 2 of them actually.
There's 2 movies?
I never saw the movie. I saw the show though.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the car.
I did too. I never looked at it as as a kid, I never looked at it like this is a stupid show. I just like the fucking car, just driving and jumping shit, and I never really followed the story as much.
Was there a story?
I don't think so.
It was involved the car and jumping into the air.
It's about the Dukes trying to like get over on Boss Hogg and Sheriff Enos or Enos. I don't know how to say. I think his name.
They're trying to get
So
off
the
on
boss
sheriff's
was putting
anus.
his hog into Sheriff Enos.
Yeah, basically.
The Sheriff's Anus.
Nice pun. Audience loves it, man. All right, so that's just saying. It's just I can't believe you've never seen the show before. I didn't know you're that young, man.
Next episode, can we talk about like 90s Nicktoons?
Mm-hmm. If one of the Nicktoon stars get arrested for something like cocaine, we'll talk about it. I'm definitely be honest with you.
Oh God! Listen, if anybody that did a voice on a Nicktoon,
It's not
if
doing
there was
blow in their basement
if there
right
was
now.
a time to get arrested on drug charges, now is the time. Please, if you're out there, do me a solid. Fuck your life up for me, please.
We need
to talk
We need
talk
some
about.
topics, man. We need some topics. Okay, so obviously we're both not heard about Luke Duke getting arrested, but it was a good story. That was my kind of like fluff story, if you will.
Oh, that was definitely a fluff story.
Yeah. All right, so that ends the news topic. I want to thank Greg for coming out tonight. Thank you, everybody. Wait, say it again. They were cheering too much. Go ahead. Where can people get in touch with you?
Oh, you can like us on Facebook or look us up on backyardsuperheroes.tumblr.com.
Okay, and Facebook.com/backyardsuperheroes. Right.
I think that's how you do it on the internet.
Okay. You got to put no. I'm sorry. It's http//
You're gonna want to go to this website. It's www.google.com.
Yeah.
Type in Backyard Superheroes.
That's easy.
Tumblr.
That's the easy way to do
And
it.
backyard is one word, and superheroes is one word. And when you spell superheroes, super and then HEROES, because a lot of people don't spell it right. It's HEROS. There's an E in between the O and the E.
It's called grammar, you
Proper.
uncultured cave people out there.
I remember
Nazi is in
learning
the
that when I
building
was,
right
like,
now.
Third grade.
All right. So thanks for coming out. You want to hang out some a little more, or do you want to? You have to be out. Yes. No. You're roofing your ceiling or something like that.
Listen, these Bud Light Limes aren't going to drink themselves.
I'm reflooring my kitchen floor with paint right now, and then I'm putting pennies on it.
Okay.
We have 12,500 pennies to put all across my entire kitchen floor.
Oh, I thought this was going to be like a Empire Records type of thing, where you're just going to put pennies on the glue them to the ground to trick people. I think you need to rethink your floor.
You're gonna fool Warren Beatty to like try to pull those paintings off.
I think you need to rethink your kitchen decor.
My wife is at home right now
just
doing
glue a
all
couple
of
down
this,
there.
is gluing things down. So I have to get at some point I'm gonna get home to help her. But I'm enjoying myself now, so I'm not gonna go home yet.
Okay, so hang out with us a little more, like you did last time. You just listened to us do. I guess you're listening to me do a review by myself, because right now, you guys,
That might be the saddest thing I've ever heard.
I've done it before, but I'll
Just somebody watching you do a review by yourself.
yeah, I'll try to make it more interesting. But if
Staring into the middle distance.
you know what would be cool, actually, since you actually, Greg, you like Stone Sour a bit, and Drew, you hate them. Maybe you guys can be like the Muppets in the balcony.
I think you know what I think it is.
okay with
I
that.
think that it's not so much that I hate Stone Sour. It's just an incredibly violent indifference that I have for them.
All right, you guys. So here we go. I'm gonna review the new Stone Sour, which is called Hydro Grant. And if you guys don't know who they are,
Hugh Grant.
they are a hard rock metal band from Des Moines, Iowa, and considered a side product to the new metal band Slipknot. But actually, surprise, surprise, singer Corey Taylor started the band in 1992 before Slipknot even came about. But then they broke up in 1997. But in 2002, while Slipknot was on hiatus, Corey and guitarist Jim Root reformed Stone Sour and released a self-titled debut album in August of that year. And the album features the gloomy alternative rock ballad Bother, which became the band's first mainstream hit. And I'm assuming, Drew, that was the immediate distaste of the band.
I think it's maybe one of 3 songs I know from them.
Okay. Yeah, that was their hit song that came out, and I remember that was like everyone was like, "Oh my God, we're so surprised about how soulful yet somber his vocal style is in Stone Sour, being a direct contrast to the explicit angry vocals from the band Slipknot."
But Slipknot's vocals were so much better in every possible way.
Yeah.
And the lyrics were so much better too.
There was less rapping in Stone Sour, if I remember correctly.
True.
Yeah, but Slipknot rap is like what rap should be. 'Cause that's freaking
it was the
amazing.
bee's knees of 2001, man. But
I remember listening to that original Slipknot album on repeat. I can listen to every song of that entire album.
It's a good album, man. It's a good album.
There's 15 tracks on that.
Yeah.
So you know.
The second album that Stone Sour put out, called Come Whatever May, was released in 2006 and includes the post-grunge ballad Through Glass, which was actually one of my favorite songs of the year. What I really liked about that whole album was the mixture of heavy metal and hard rock. So I thought that album was really good, the second one. And then in 2012 and 2013, they put out the conceptual double album House of Gold and Bones, Part 1 and 2. And though I did hear that both those records, they didn't leave much of an impression on me. And these two releases would also be the final with the founding member Jim Root, who decided to focus his attention on Slipknot. And this album I'm going to talk about right now is the band's 6th record. So after a 2-minute like rocking intro track, we get the track Tepia Person / Ala T, which maintains like that hard rock tempo while incorporating a little gang backing vocals, while Corey's voice walks the line between singing and screaming. So you could easily do 90 on the highway to this one while headbanging during the breakdown. So I think it starts out really good. It's kind of like a hard rock, like kind of heavy metal introduction to the record. Then we get to the song, which is called Song Number 3, which actually isn't a sequel.
Inventive
to the Blur
title.
Song.
Inventive title.
Yeah, it's not actually a sequel to the Blur song from the 90s. Instead, it's an up-tempo post-grunge love song about the sacrifices Corey makes for that special someone. Perfect radio song, but I have no idea what that title means. Like you said, it's inventive. I'm like, I don't know why they call it song number this, song number that. And ironically, it's not even the 3rd track on the album. Actually, no Stone Sour album would be complete without the sappy stuff. Now, Greg, they're really... You're saying you don't like them because, as much as Slipknot, because they're more of like a sappy band. And this album has no exception to the rule. Sappy.
Am I saying they're a bad band? No. They're just not, like, I'm used to the classic Slipknot sound.
Yeah.
Like, you listen to that first album and you're like, damn, this is good. This is good metal. This is good stuff. It's like, actually, I saw a picture. My brother sent me a picture. He had a picture taken last week of him and Corey Taylor.
Yeah.
He was at a signing of his new book up in North Jersey. And I saw it, my brother and Corey Taylor. It was really cool looking.
Awesome,
So
man.
I just want to throw that out there.
Okay. So
back to the idea.
With this one, they do the sappy stuff. Do you like when he says the ballady stuff, or do you think it's kind of like cheesy?
All ballads are cheesy.
I wouldn't say cheesy, but if they could talk about lollipops as long as they keep it metal.
Yeah.
I really don't. If they still have that good dark sound in the rhythm, they could talk about being a princess if they really want.
Well, this album actually like mixes the two. Like you got the lyrically, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
You get song called Witness Trees, which incorporates like the dark power chords with like even darker lyrics about like death and self-loathing. You got like the song called Saint Marie, which is like an acoustic guitar track that peppers in a little bit of country western twang into it. And it's kind of like if you're into Garth Brooks, it's kind of like that. If you're into that kind of thing, it reminded me like a metal Garth Brooks.
I got friends in the long places.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the
Wasn't
whiskey
metal
drowns.
Garth Brooks that thing that he did like in the mid '90s?
Oh yeah,
where he had like goth hair.
yeah. So I
and
forgot about that guy.
You okay?
What was that called again? I forget.
Yeah, those are the only lyrics I know to that song.
He had an alter ego. I forget what it was called, but yeah, I know.
Was it Edwin McCain or was that a different guy?
Yeah, different guy.
Was it Charles Manson? Oh, wait, wrong guy.
But so the album is kind of soft, but the album doesn't stray away too far from being heavy. So you get like songs like Knievel Has Landed with like the distorted bass lines. You get a track like Fabulous, which brings back like the crunchy guitars and the screaming vocals, which remind me a little bit of stuff you hear from like Rob Zombie without the whole industrial metal sound.
Boo.
You don't like Rob Zombie?
No, I don't like stuff without industrial metal sound.
Yeah.
You got to go with the classic spit it out surfacing.
Yeah.
And like
It's not. It's the thing about Stone Sour when they get metal. To me, they're basically like They're basically Slipknot light. I like to call them that. They're not.
It's music for people that want to like Slipknot, but find Slipknot a little too scary.
Right.
So it's like Slipknot unplugged in a way.
But it is plugged in at the same time. So it's kind of like a weird thing to put it together. It's like the way I say this album is like when they do like the hard rock tunes, it's like you get songs like Rose Red, Violent Blue, and Thank God It's Over. Sounds to me like a little bit like something you would hear from Shinedown. And I know that kind of.
I love Shinedown.
That kind of.
If you know me, I'm a big Shinedown
That's
fan.
kind of yeah.
We call ourselves Shinies.
Do you think it's more like the idea of slipping together Dashboard Confessional with like Deicide? So you have a little sound like so quiet, another way, play me like God.
To be honest, I feel like that's what Slipknot is. Dashboard Confessional meets Deicide.
Yeah, well, definitely nowadays anyway. So I think the ballads on this album come off a little bit cheesy and melodramatic for me or some listeners, but the mixture of hard rock and heavy metal on here blends really well. So I think the fans of Slipknot will like this album. And they got one song on here called Whiplash Paint, which unfortunately you didn't hear, and that's like probably one of the fastest and heaviest songs on this album. It's like an angry groove metal track that comes close to being like new metal, but it's not quite there. I found this album to be extremely, extremely tolerable.
It's a ringing endorsement.
Yes. Not one track on here was above average, but I was never bored. This album is okay. So I'm going to give this album a download.
Aggressively just all right.
Yeah, it's exactly. So let us know what you think in the comments if you heard the new Slipknot album. Sorry, Stone Sour album. If you heard it, let us know in the
And if you heard the new Slipknot album, too.
yeah, tell us what you think of that album and compare it to. That'd be great. Tell us in the comments or send us a link to the email if you have more to say. Love to hear what you think. Man, I really was hoping you heard this album because you were so looking forward, Drew, to like shitting all over it. But when I listened to him, I'm like, he's not going to have not have a bad thing to say about this because it's not that bad.
Oh, you have no idea.
I'm
sure I would find it very intolerable.
That way we would have debated on that, but I don't see what it's not. It's okay. It's not anything to be mad about. But I guess when you're more of like you're picky with your metal, so it's like when a band is like a pop rock band and they do a little bit metal, you're gonna scrutinize a lot harder, I guess.
I will say this about Stone Sour, and keep in mind I haven't heard this album. Considering the fact that it's aggressively okay, it might change my mind as to how I feel about Stone Sour. That being said, I feel like. Recently, the guy from Nickelback, I think his name is
Chad Kroeger or something.
Oh, is it? I thought it was James Nickelback.
Okay.
In any case, he came out and said something along the lines, completely unprompted, about Stone Sour being off-brand Nickelback or something like that.
Okay.
And they kind of are. They kind of. I think I can tolerate Slipknot. Stone Sour sounds like shitty Nickelback to me.
Why does everyone hate Nickelback?
I
never really understood why.
Why does everybody hate Nickelback?
Yeah.
Why does anybody like Nickelback is a better question to ask. I think it's that
I feel like Greg is actually saying the same thing I'm saying. You find Nickelback tolerable, right? You don't hate him or love him.
Yeah, I'd put it that way. Would I put them on my own? No, not a chance in hell.
I'm only relatively indifferent to Nickelback because I don't listen to them and I don't listen to radio rock, so I'm never forced to listen to them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they're kind of like Creed, but if all the originality
harsh, and
all the great tunes and hooks were sloughed away, because Creed was shitty already. They were
the band Live.
Live is way better than Creed.
Okay. Yeah.
Creed was kind of off-brand live, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was. Okay. I was thinking that. Yeah.
But so I feel like Creed was kind of shitty already, and then Nickelback was like, all right, let's take the Creed model and just write catchy pop rock songs, but anything that would give it a little, I don't know, make them memorable or anything. Just do away with all of that.
So you don't like that song? I like the white stains on your dress. You don't like that stuff by Nickelback?
Is that the song where he implies that he's going to rape somebody?
He just says, I don't know. I guess isn't rape okay?
I remember hearing a song where
is
it
rape
sounded
okay as
rapey.
long as you want to have sex with someone that don't have sex with you? Like you really have no choice at that point.
I want to change their name.
I'm kidding, everybody. I'm kidding.
Back.
No laughter there either. But
their new name is now Lick My Back from now on, so that's a little more sexual. So now it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
Rebranding.
Nickelback. My wife can't stand them. And I'm kind of like, there's some songs that are okay, and there's some that I don't like. It's just the way I'm with Greg on that. I don't wish death upon that band like I do with other groups. Like the next review we're gonna do. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I will say this. I think that James Nickelback's biggest songwriting accomplishment. If you haven't heard the song, you need to stop the podcast and go to your closest device that has YouTube. Look up "Hello Kitty" by Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne, yeah.
Holy shit, I love that song.
It's so offensive.
It's incredibly tone deaf.
Yeah.
And fairly offensive.
Yeah.
And it is just fantastic. It is an aggressively bad song.
It's almost like they were purposely doing that.
It is the Plan 9 from outer space of pop music.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
And the video goes well with it too. It's actually equally offensive to the song.
I kind of want to just watch that video right now.
Yeah, go watch the Avril Lavigne video right now for that.
I'm gonna do this review while I'm watching Avril Lavigne
and
video.
touching myself. At the
He
same
was
time.
a skater boy.
All right, we're gonna get to the next review. Greg, do you mind if you want to drop the mic because this one actually Drew did hear, so we gotta really debate this one. I feel like.
Oh,
Are
great.
we going hip hop?
I think this is a Casey Strain part 2.
I'm going hip hop.
We almost came to
drop
blows.
the mic, yo.
Nice.
You got to do it harder.
There you
Well,
go.
when you have a cord,
I don't wanna
attached
break
to
the
back
mic,
of
though.
Right. His was harder than yours, man.
I'll be spitting rhymes, yo. Straight
Phrasing.
up. I did
Okay.
a neck movement too. They don't know that.
Drop the shit, man. Okay, so next album we're gonna review is Integrity's new album called "Howling for the Nightmare Shall Consume," and they are a hardcore punk band from Iowa that formed in 1988 by singer.
Ohio.
Did I say Iowa? Iowa?
You said Iowa.
I'm bad.
You got your
I
show
did.
notes mixed up.
Yeah, I got Ohio. Thank you. And they formed.
And if I'm not mistaken, they're now currently based in Belgium / Philly.
Oh, really? They moved. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that.
Okay. So the lead singer name is Dwid Helion, and the band was very infamous in the hardcore scene for their combination of metal, thrash, and hardcore punk, as well as their lyrics that included topics like religion, individualism, mental illness, and holy terrorism. And Integrity has gone through several lineup changes over the years, but
more than several.
Abundance.
But tons.
Let's say a plethora.
Yes.
But Dwid still remains the group's founding member. And even more interesting, their current lineup only has 2 permanent members. You got Helion on vocals and Dominic Romeo on guitar. Now, normally one would be kind of like worried when a band has a revolving door of members that much. But being that Integrity has had like guitarists who have gone on to be in bands like Hatebreed and In Cold Blood, these newer members have potential to maintain the band's sound, I think. And this latest record is the group's 10th album. And my only previous knowledge of the band was in the 90s when I borrowed the 3rd album, Humanity is the Devil, from a friend based on his recommendation. And the photo on the back of them all jumping at the same time.
Playing Warped Tour.
Yeah, I was like, that's going to be some amazing, like, shit. Because I was like, they're on the Chicago hardcore label Victory Records. So I was expecting some fast hardcore punk, a la like Sick of It All or even an Incent. And boy, was I wrong.
Well, I mean, you weren't wrong. It still is fast hardcore punk.
But it wasn't what I was
It was
expecting.
too evil and metal.
It was like, if you're into Converge, I guess, it was more like if you're into that. But for me, just getting into hardcore at that time, 97, I was kind of like, this is when
It blew your mind.
This is not what I was expecting. And they have one song on the album that's like a half hour long, and it's just like, kind of arduous to get through.
It's that one song isn't really a song so much as a bunch of noise and creepiness.
Yeah. So that kind of turned me off from the record and the band in general. But then that was 97. So over the years, I've come to realize that every hardcore punk band won't sound like the Youth Ahead or Snapcase. So after 20 years, I was ready to listen to Integrity again with like an open mind. I'm like, okay, I'll give him a chance again.
You know what? I think you weren't wrong. I think you were going in thinking that you were going to hear some East Coast hardcore because you're talking about Snapcase and Sick of It All. We're from the East Coast. The sun's shining.
Yeah.
We have things to live for. Nothing's too bad in our lives. We're talking about a band from Ohio, though.
Yeah, I didn't. This is back in the 90s, so you couldn't research bands as easily. So I assumed looking in the back.
What does anybody from Ohio have to live for?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
You assume when you see a band from Victory Records that they're from the East Coast anyway, because that's every hardcore band's going to assign to that label anyway. And when I heard it, I'm just kind of like, I don't like this. So I was a little nervous with this album, but I listened to it, and after the intense opening track, the album kicks off with the song Blood Sermon. And I think this song features like the constant blast beats and like double bass drumming mixed with like screaming vocals, blood curdling lead guitar, and moments of thrash. And actually, the solos you hear throughout some of the tracks on the beginning of the record, and the slower breakdown intro you get on a song like "I Am the Spell" reminds me a lot of Slayer. And there's no possible way you can be insulted if you ever tell a band you sound like Slayer. So this is a very easy, good compliment for them.
Very much. It's a lot of like old school hardcore meets thrash metal. I think you nailed it completely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's integrity. Their influences are old school thrash, and then like Motorhead, and then whatever was going on in hardcore in the 80s and 90s. Slapshot and SSD and stuff like that.
So I really liked the first 5 tracks on this album. I thought actually, another band that they sound like, you didn't mention that because they got that eerie backdrop mixed with like extreme metal. They remind me a little bit of Cradle of Filth as well. I don't know if you want to agree with that or not, but
I can see that actually.
Yeah.
I think they come by it a little more honestly, although I think some people might disagree. Because I think that Cradle of Filth, it's all about the theatrics. Yeah. And integrity is,
they strip away the theatrics and just get right to it. But when you take the whole theatrics of
I think the theatrics that they get into, they want you to think are real, even if they aren't.
Yeah.
Because Dwid borderline has his own religion at this point.
Okay.
So I think he wants you to think that the Cradle of Filth-esque moments are real.
Okay. So I think the first 5 tracks of this album, it's like they put your balls in a vice and they won't let that go. It's like aggressive, and it's just like I still feel like the taste of like the aesthetic taste in my like throat from like hearing like
you need a palate cleanser.
Yeah. Killing it for the first 5 songs. Then towards the middle of the record, they do something out the blue, I think, and that's what we're going to talk about. It's more melodic sound. It's slower. You get tracks like Serpent of the Crosses and Unholy like Salvation have a slower tempo, longer solos, gothic keyboards, and I want to honestly say more understandable lyrics.
And I think my favorite of those tracks is Seven Reese Muse, which is just very eerie and haunting.
That was my favorite 2 out of the 3. I was going to ask you a question first. I felt like Unholy Salvation, for example, was a bit too slow and redundant, but I thought the taste of thrash metal at the end was a great payoff. I felt like when they slow it down, it's kind of like you're just drudging along. It's kind of like the jam band of metal.
I think personally that doesn't bother me. I like a lot of doom metal and stuff, as I think we got into last.
Doom metal,
and it's close enough to that I enjoy it. That being said, I think the fact that they get into so many different styles on this record is what keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
You have these droning dark songs, and then you'll have just like a kind of an 80s like borderline hair metal song right in the middle of it, and it's just like it's like a palate cleanser. It just gets you like, all right, I can get it back into the darkness after listening to this.
But do you find that it would have been better if they just did a straight, like the first 5 songs are like under 3 minutes long? Do you think it would have been better if they just had a straight like album short like that, like every song short, or do you think it was cool to have a middle part where it's like an intermission or whatever you want to call it?
No, because I think that in the past they've done that before.
Okay.
They've done albums which are really simple, just straight through, just hardcore, and then they've had albums which are slow and plotting and kind of dark, and then they've had albums which are, I feel like they haven't had an album like this.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of a mix of styles. And I think that Dominic, what was his last name? Romero?
Romero, yeah.
I always get him mixed up. I think that this is his first album with the band, and I think that he really gives it a real shot in the ass.
Okay.
By incorporating, glam metal and hard rock and putting that in there, and then also like making the fast faster and the slow slower. I think he did a great
I didn't
job.
really look at it that way because you actually said the third song from the trilogy of slow songs, Seven Reese Mew, is the favorite one. And that's mine too. I think that's the most unique song on the whole album. You get the whole guitar work, which is more complex since it rides a line of like alternative metal with blues riffs. I thought that was cool as
It
hell.
almost had like a Danzig feel to it at points.
Yeah, that's it. And the whole vocals that he's using is more of like a gloomy, like spoken word vibe.
Yeah,
that is the fucking hit single right there.
He's been kind of experimenting with his voice. He usually just in the past does that gruff like thing, and then with this he's just been kind of experimenting a little bit because I think he has somebody to experiment with finally.
Yeah, you actually mentioned the band Motorhead, and I really feel that is prominent on when it gets faster again, because I'm a big fan of punk rock. And the simplistic, fast-paced drumming that they use on the quick tempo on the song "Burning Beneath the Devil's Cross" was right up my alley. This track will get the circle pit going, and the punk rock feel that they have on the song after that, and the '80s metal sound, which is called "String Up My Teeth," reminded me a lot of what you hear from Motorhead. So I'm like, this is back in the realm of what I love. So I love the beginning of the record, and I won't say love, but I liked how it was finishing off. And I think it goes back to like a whole like, doom metal as you're calling for like the title track, which is the end of the standard edition of the record. Now, did you actually listen to the bonus tracks? Because I didn't get to hear them.
You know what? I'm sure that I have.
Okay.
Most of my music listening happens in the car, so I'm not looking at what tracks I'm listening to.
Yeah.
I've listened to it all the way through, though, so I'm sure I have.
Okay. So I can't really give an opinion on the bonus tracks, but I'm guessing since it all bleeds together, you can't.
One of them is actually a cover, so I think we can just leave the bonus tracks out.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. The title track is a good closer.
Yeah, I thought it was because like a song
Caps it off.
An album that fast. I'm okay with the last song being like slowing it down a bit and closing it that way. But I was kind of torn about the middle part because I was okay with the beginning part, and then it slows down and picks up again. But I will give it credit because the middle part actually had a really good third song that was really unique. And is there anything else you want to add before we give our ratings? Or?
No, I think we covered it all.
Okay, so I'm thinking we'll have to have you, because you're more of a fan of the band. I'll go first. My rating, so I'm gonna say you can't expect a band who's been existing for this long to still be shattering the mold after 10 albums. But I think that this latest one serves as its purpose and is a worthy addition to the Integrity's catalog. They do a good job of blending different metal subgenres to avoid sounding stale like other bands in the metalcore scene. So my only complaint about this album is after a week of not hearing the album, because I listened to it last week and then I listened to it again today, is I forgot completely how it sounded. So it's good album in the moment, but it's easily forgettable to me. So after a week, I won't remember how any songs sounded. So I'm gonna say it's a tolerable record. No, it's okay. I'm gonna give this album a download. It's a decent album, and I actually like it. Understanding them now from back 20 years ago, I wouldn't mind listening to that Humanity is the Devil album again to understand what they're doing, and maybe Integrity 2000 and other stuff like that, and figuring out what I like about them and what I don't like. So that's my rating. What do you think?
You're gonna have to explain the rating again to me.
Oh, okay. So I said download it, so it's in between. So if you want to say higher, like buy this, or even higher, like praise this, is the highest one, and below that is skip this, and below that is fuck this. So
All right.
I'm in the middle.
All right. I'm gonna say buy this.
Okay. Because you actually
think,
did that.
No, I actually didn't, but I plan to in the future. And one thing about Integrity is which is I think lost these days, is the album artwork. Frequently, the art is very much fits the tone of the album, and frequently there's also a story to go along with those lyrics. So it's good to sit down, put it in your CD player, put it on your turntable,
and read along to it.
And
you can't really
read along and
saying.
immerse yourself in the booklet. Dwid Hellian's a very weird guy, and to get into his headspace is almost like watching a good horror movie. So I'm going to say buy it.
Okay.
It's not my favorite Integrity album. I think that it's definitely getting close to the top. I think it was.
You're gonna do your top 10 or your list.
Yeah.
Second.
And it's a really solid record. Like I said, it's not my favorite, but it's damn good, and it's a little bit different from their past few records.
Okay, so if you actually heard a new Integrity album, if you guys actually know this band that's been around for a long time and want to tell us what you think of it, let us know in the comment section how you feel about the latest work, or you can send us a lengthy email if you dare. So, Greg, are you ready to hear him rank all Integrity's albums from 1 to 10?
Do we get to listen to it?
Yeah, we're going to listen to every album. It's going to be like a 10-hour podcast.
We're going to be here for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
All the doors are locked.
So, all right.
Well, looks like I'm in for the count.
Okay.
I'm all in.
So this is how it's going to go. So Integrity has 10 albums, and Drew obviously heard all of them, has been a fan since, like 80s, 89?
Yeah, I came out of the womb, and I knew that this band was going to be great before they even formed.
Okay. So he's going to tell us the top 10 from... we'll do the same thing as we did before, the worst one to the best one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 10.
Let's get the years, too, because I can't remember the years.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry. I was going to write all this shit down, but I was rushing to do this show because, I have kids and all.
That's all right. Let me see if I can pull up a list here.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to find the years.
Okay. You guys can do your research at home on your own then.
All right, first one is...
the least favorite album by them.
Number 10.
Yes.
Systems Overload, which ironically I think is the one that you would like the best. And it's also
I like shitty music, I think.
It's also the one that I like the least for the same reason. Well, because you said you like kind of more by the books hardcore. You like, you like the more punky stuff.
Yeah.
I think this is very by the books.
Okay.
You were talking about, Victory Records and feeling like you knew what to expect from that label. This is the record that
What you need, man?
you know what to expect.
I'm sorry. I don't have coffee. You have water, man.
I think I had brought a cup of coffee.
All right. Find your coffee. So, number 10 is
Systems Overload.
Okay.
It's very by the books. It's just and by the
not
books.
taking any chances. So that's what
yeah. It's just a solid hardcore record.
Yeah.
Nothing too weird. Nothing too special. But it's a little bit catchier than a lot of their stuff.
I'm gonna write that down. Listen to that one. Spider.
It's catchier than a lot of their other stuff.
Okay.
Really.
I'm gonna have to get that one then. What's number 9 then?
Integrity 2K. By the way, I have the list now.
Okay.
Systems Overload was 1995.
Integrity, my good year for hardcore.
Integrity
yes.
2K. That was the second to last record that they did for Victory. A little bit darker, a little bit weirder. Still, not that many hits on it, in my opinion. That came out in 1999.
Okay. Wait, the 2000 came out in 99?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
they were
sense.
anticipating.
Yeah. They were anticipating the future coming. Yeah. Number 8.
Number 8, Blackest Curse.
Okay, and that is from what, the 2000s?
This was from 2010.
Okay.
This was actually, believe it or not, the first Integrity album I actually bought and sat down and listened to. I had heard them periodically. I had, downloaded MP3s, listened to the records here and there, but this is the first one I was like, gonna sit down and listen to it. It's kind of the 2000s version of Systems Overload.
Okay.
Very simple by the books, not that dark, not that weird.
Okay.
It's more metallic than Systems Overload, I think. And that's what sets it apart.
Okay. Number 7.
Closure.
Okay.
I don't know what to make of this album. It's just it's a good album. It just doesn't have the weirdness and the darkness as much as the other albums, which is something, if you can tell, is something I like about Integrity.
Yeah, you like when they branch out and try different things.
Yeah, it's a lot catchier and a lot kind of it sticks with you more. So that's why it's above Blackest Curse. And
what year is that one then? Closure.
This one came out in 2001.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was the last one to fear the longtime guitarists, the Melnick brothers.
No, that's that was
and
what
they
the
were
terrorists
in
flew into their buildings.
in the 90s. The Melnicks were instrumental in creating the Integrity of war, like the just making Integrity what it was.
Yeah.
And that was their, if I'm not mistaken, that was their last record.
Okay. And we're at number 6 now.
Number 6 was Suicide Blacksnake. That came out in 2013. I feel like it was kind of hinting at what Integrity did with Howling for the Nightmare Shall Consume. There was weird blues interludes. It was kind of uneasy almost.
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot of hardcore metal to be found on that album. I mean, there was, but
Yeah.
it didn't feel like a hardcore record. It didn't feel like a metal record. It was kind of interesting, but I think that it was only hinting at what would be to come.
Okay. Now we're in the top 5 albums.
Top 5. To Die For.
To Die For. That sounds recent, right?
Yeah, that's the
last one, right?
I was gonna say recent, and then I realized it was over 10 years old.
Oh, okay. My bad.
That was 2003. That was kind of their return. That was after they had broken up. We had got a new band together, and then broke up pretty much right after that again. But To Die For, if Systems Overload was the kind of by the books hardcore record, To Die For was the by the books hardcore record that was better than Systems Overload, in my opinion.
Everything's better than Systems Overload to you.
Yes.
All right, so we're getting number 4 now. What's number 4 album?
Number 4, Howling for the Nightmare Shall Consume, and I have a feeling that's going to move up. The more I listen to it, the more I kind of get into that record. I don't know if I need to talk about it any more than I already did.
You basically said how much you like how they're doing different things, and that's what they should be doing. We already compared them how they're doing so many different styles of music, and they sound like different bands. I want to mention, I love how well, because if you're like, I want to have a band that sounds like Slayer and Motorhead and be hardcore at the same time, it's just like, that's not going to work, but they make it work. You know,
Slayer couldn't even be a hardcore band. They just had that one cover album.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this?
Yeah, very true, yeah. All right, so what's number 3?
Number 3, Seasons in the Size of Days. It is a very unsettling, kind of weird album. The album art looks like something out of like a Clive Barker novel or something. Just very dark and unsettling, and still really heavy and moshy and good record.
Okay. So is that the recent one or before?
That one came out in 1997.
Okay.
Still in the victory years.
Okay, so go on. I'm actually amazed how high this particular album I'm thinking of is placing on your list, and how much I did not like it. But okay, go on.
Okay, so number 2. The debut, Those Who Fear Tomorrow.
Jesus Christ, man. Okay, I'm so of course. Now, why is the first album number 2 on your thing?
They were still kind of finding their voice, I think.
Okay, so what did that one sound like actually?
It was it sounded like Integrity.
Okay.
It was almost not quite formed. It was, you could see what they were kind of getting at inelegantly. There was elements of hardcore and metal, and they were kind of plucking at different strands, and it was a portent of things to come.
Well, that's confusing. If it wasn't really complete yet, why is it ranking so high? Is it because it's like the precursor
It's just
of it all?
solid songs.
Okay.
If you go on Spotify, I think the first like 3 or 4 songs are off that record because they're just catchy.
Okay.
Even though it's not as heady as some of the later stuff, it's not as interesting. I mean, it's stuff that you're going to bob your head to. You know? Yeah.
So obviously you guys have been keeping score. If you heard the review we did earlier, the album that I heard first from the band, which is the least was not working with me, is his favorite record by them. And that album is
I think that's everybody's favorite record by Integrity.
Very
Humanity is the Devil, 1996.
Yes.
It's kind of a perfect mix of everything that makes them good. It's catchy hardcore punk songs. It's abrasive Motorhead meets Slayer kind of thrashy stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird occult imagery, and it's even like a concept album about this quasi-religion that Dwidhelian was thinking about, which takes elements of Satanism and Manson family and the Process Church and kind of melds it together. And it's just their most well-rounded album.
Okay. So that's what the problem is. I gotta now that I know what hardcore is and I've heard more elements, I gotta go back to it. I was young.
You need the simpler.
Yeah.
The simpler. I should have come up with another list. The albums that I think you would like most.
Well, I probably already heard them though, but that's cool.
Definitely Systems Overload and To Die For would probably be where you want to start.
Okay. So you don't think I should just go in order from? You just think I should just pluck out the ones I like and stop?
Yeah. Knowing you.
Okay. So if you actually, again, if you want to have a comment on Drew's list, let us know in the comment section. So this has been a good show. I would have hoped that you listened to the Stone Sour, but hopefully next show you actually would listen to everything we do. And
I will be much more prepared next show.
I really enjoy having you on this show. You've been a great, replacement for who we had before, and I hope we can do more shows together.
The one that shall not be named.
Yes. I mentioned it before, but I want to do it again. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank Greg for hanging out for the whole show.
Can I do more interviews? This is fun.
Absolutely, because this is only our second. We interviewed twice with your band, and you've been on 2 podcasts. We got to keep it going.
I want more.
I want more.
We don't have to talk about ska.
That is a song by us. I want more. A song by us Without Tendencies, which is a hardcore band I like. Hardcore but should sound like that.
Hardcore should have not evolved after 1987.
Just keep it the same, man. That's the way I like it. So thank you guys for listening. And you can cheer later because I got the outro stuff right now, and we'll be having another show, I would say, next month. But until then, thanks for coming out, and here's how you can get in touch with us. Let me get to my notes because I did my show last week, and I forgot what I was going to say for one.
BackyardSuperheroes.tumblr.com.
Yes. Okay, so if you want to get in touch with us, we will have our website coming soon, but when it comes up, it will be njhabbitradio.net. Also, you can email us at njhabbitradio@gmail.com. And also, we are on Facebook /njhabbitradio. And when you find us on Facebook, make sure you like us on there.
We're on Snapchat, Tumblr,
we are on
Pornhub,
we are
Tinder, Grindr.
We are on Hybrid Radio at YouTube. Search Hybrid Radio, and you can subscribe to our channel there. And finally, you forgot to mention one, Drew. We are on Twitter. Go to Twitter at Hybrid Radio and follow us on there. Until next time, this has been Jarrell and Hardcore Drew and the incorrigible Greg saying have a good week, a good month.
Have a good one. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
See you later, folks.